Hi, I'm Cary Crichlow from RCR Recording Studios, and today I'm here to talk to you about what I learned from Dispatch. I know I'm kind of annoying, but you don't have to get rid of me. I'm just talking about the indie jam band. But let's see what Wikipedia has to say about them. Dispatch is an American indie roots band. The band consists of Brad Corrigan on vocals, drums, guitar, percussion, and harmonica, Pete Francis Heimbold, vocals, bass, and guitar, and Chad Ermston, vocals, guitar, bass, and percussion. Wow, they're very multi-instrumentalist. That's cool. The band, which is based in the Boston area, was originally active from 1996 until 2002. The members then announced a hiatus, which would ultimately last for almost a decade. During this period, the band came together for reunion concerts in Boston in 2004, New York City in 2007, and Washington, D.C. in 2009. The hiatus ended in the beginning of 2011 when the band announced a national tour. The band released both their first studio album in over a decade and toured North America that summer in support of the album. Wow. They didn't sign to a label? They must not be that big of a deal. Actually, this is a band that sold out Madison Square Garden within a half hour of tickets going on sale. This is a band that played in front of over 100,000 people in Boston. This is a band that makes enough money to give away the majority of their profits to charities both locally and globally. You could say they're doing pretty good. They've been called the biggest band that no one's ever heard of, says Brad Corrigan, one of Dispatch's 3 singers and multi-instrumentalists. He says, people either know everything about us or nothing about us. There never seems to be any middle ground. Stokes, Corrigan, and Francis met in college through a shared interest in athletics, but bonded over their voices. There was this real lock that happened when we sang together that was undeniable, says Francis. Their music draws upon several genres, including acoustic, folk, reggae, and funk. All 3 of us appreciate meaningful lyrics, whether they're more direct like in Brad's songs, or more poetic like in Pete's songs. Dispatch performed in local colleges around the New England area in order to hone their live shows. In '96, they released their debut album, an acoustic-driven folk pop affair called Silent Steeples, released on their own Bomber Records. They toured extensively during this time and became well known for their live shows, often switching instruments between songs. You mean they had to learn a bunch of instruments and play all the time? That sounds like hard work. It was. But then, something interesting happened. What? People started sharing their music. So, everyone shares music. Yeah, but you have to remember, this was before file sharing was like a thing, and record labels had tight control over record sales. Dispatch was one of the first bands to actually use the internet to grow their fan base. In fact, the 1999 release of their 3rd album, 4-Day Trials, coincided with the launch of a file sharing service called Napster. Now, Napster enabled the band's young, tech-savvy audience to freely share MP3s such as The General and Bang Bang, and grow the audience in the process. According to Francis, we played a show at a college in Pomona, California, a state we've never visited, and 1,000 kids turned up and sang along to every single word. Of course, once the band established itself as a very profitable touring entity, the major labels came a-knocking. Not one time in any label meeting did anyone say, "We just love your music, and we want to give wings to what you're doing," says Corrigan. It was always, "We'll make you into the next Dave Matthews Band." It was the exact opposite of what we wanted to hear. We knew it would kill our creativity. We don't have a desire to be anything but the first Dispatch. And it was at the height of their popularity that members of Dispatch decided to walk away. The band had reached the point of burnout. Well, drugs. While drugs no doubt played a pivotal role in the band's creative process, it had less to do with the drugs and more about the relationships within the band. Stokes commented on this time period saying that we had no real friendships outside of the band, and we wanted to have lives outside of the band, and be a part of communities again. He went on to say, it actually felt dishonest to play for our audiences when the relationships within the band were breaking down. It just didn't feel right. All 3 members pursued music careers after the breakup, to various degrees of success. What interests me is what happened when they had reunion concerts. In 2004, the 3 decided that they owed it to their fans to give the band a proper send-off, organizing a free show in Boston. They were anticipating about 20,000 people to show up. Over 100,000 people showed up from all over the world, including Italy, Spain, Portugal, New Zealand, Australia, South Africa, and many others. The concert became the largest independent music event in history. How have I not heard of these guys? It was all documented in a feature film called The Last Dispatch. In 2007, Dispatch came together once again to raise money for humanitarian organizations working in Zimbabwe, a country suffering from issues that resonated deeply with Francis, Corrigan, and especially Stokes, who lived there for 6 months after high school. After tickets to the first Madison Square Garden show disappeared within minutes during the fan pre-sale, the band decided to add 2 more dates and then became the first independent band to sell out the storied venue. The 3-night stand grossed over $2 million and helped raise over $100,000 for charities in Zimbabwe. Wow, that was awfully generous. Social Social responsibility has always been a major component of the dispatch culture. The band is a heavy contributor to charities and often encourages their fans to get involved, not just with their money, but also with their time. I'm always amazed when people show up for these volunteer events because everyone's busy and has so much going on in their lives, says Stokes. But our fans are so passionate about the band, and that seems to lend itself to their wanting to do more than just come to a show. Not wanting to let down those fervent souls, on May 17, 2011, Dispatch released their new EP, Circles Around the Sun. And within hours of its release, it shot to number 2 on the iTunes album chart. Who can say if they'll stick together or break up again? One thing is for sure, they've influenced thousands, if not millions of lives, and continue to make a difference in the lives of their fans and the people they've helped through their charities. I, for one, wish them the best. So, what did I learn from Dispatch? You don't need to sign to a major label to have a very successful career as an artist. It never hurts to care and give back to those less fortunate. Always be true to yourself and your vision. The internet didn't kill the music business, it just changed. Hard work is always a prerequisite for success. No band is immune from internal conflict. You can make bank playing live shows. And perhaps the most important thing I learned from Dispatch is, you're a young man, you must be living. Go now, you are forgiven. Thanks for watching and have a great day.